So today I'm going to be ranking the top 10 shooting guards in the NBA. Then I'm going to get some fan questions. If you want your question answered on this podcast, it can be basketball related or not basketball related. And go follow my Instagram, ty.allen81, or it's underscore Mr. Allen, all lowercase. And don't ask me why I have two Instagrams, but go follow those if you want your question answered on this podcast. I will be answering some of you guys' questions. And then we're going to be getting into some NBA trivia again. I found some more quizzes that I can do, and some are challenging and some are relatively easy. I would hope so, but then you never know. Once you get into like a quiz like that, it's like then your brain just, you have brain farts and you can't think of any players or anything like that. So I'm going to be doing that later. And yeah, let's just get right into the list. So when I was making this list, it was relatively easy through like the top five or like six players, but then after that, like seven through ten, like interchangeable. And I don't know how to like navigate this because at number 10, I had Khan Knipple, and he had a really good season last year. He was a rookie last year. He was second in Rookie of the Year voting, I believe, behind Cooper Flag, who also had an amazing rookie year, by the way. Khan averaged 19 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. Get this, his shooting splits were kind of insane for a rookie. He shot 48% from the field, 43% from three, and 87% from the free throw line. And yes, he is number 10 because I think that the other players ahead of him are better today. Now, some of this list is also about projecting into next year and what the seasons you think that players could have next year and beyond. But also, it's also about, past and reputation based. And I think that Khan will definitely, crack like the top five, maybe in like the next 2 or 3 years for sure. With, his shooting is only going to get better. And it sucks that he doesn't have LaMelo because LaMelo was a huge part in why Khan either got open looks or just easy like touches around the basket to get himself going from three. And so missing out on LaMelo is going to be, a big blow to his, career like trajectory. Now, actually, I wouldn't say it would be a huge blow because he's still going to be really good regardless. But like having LaMelo next to him and going into next season, I would have projected that he would have had a not a breakout season, but like he could average 20, 21 points per game. Now, without LaMelo, I think it'll be right around like this average, like 17 to 19 points per game. And actually, that's like the second time I contradicted myself. He could average more because of the absence of LaMelo and that fact that he'll be featured more in the offense. And we get to see what his creation is going to look like because right now the Hornets are running like, Kobe White as their point guard, which we all know he's not really a point guard. He's a two guard for sure. And so they're both going to have to create on their own. And we're going to see what teams do against that and what he looks like when teams throw that at him. And yeah, he's number 10. And this is where the controversy comes in because at number 7, I have a player that is also in the same class as him. And for there to be three spots, I was like confused. I was like, wait, should there be three spots between him and the seventh shooting guard? But at number 9, I have Nikhil Alexander Walker. He had an MIP. I was wow. I was almost about to say MVP. That's no. He had an MIP season last year. He averaged 20. Let's see the stats. He averaged 21 actually, 3, 4 assists, 46% from the field, which is efficient, but like the fact that he shot 40% from three is also kind of crazy, and 90% from the free throw line, which is the most like crazy stat of them all. Like shooting 90% above from the free throw line is like literally amazing. Like that quite literally means if you take 10 free throws a game, you're gonna make nine. You're only gonna miss one, and you're gonna make nine, which is insane. And the fact that he literally a year ago, he averaged almost 10 points per game and doubled that, more than doubled that. And I just think he's going to have a really good season next year as well. They re signed CJ. So basically, the entire starting lineup from the Hawks is going to be the same. And we saw the second half of the season where the Hawks were like the second or third best team out east and fifth or sixth in the league total in the second half of the season. And I part of that was Nikhil and his, really good play. And so I think he can carry that into next season. He didn't have the greatest postseason performance against the Knicks. Like I expected more from him, even as a Knicks fan. I thought he was gonna, truly be the X factor in a series because we knew what Jalen Johnson could bring and we knew what CJ was gonna bring as far as creation and shooting. And Nikhil was kind of the third option there that could really, challenge the Knicks, which they ended up doing. They, you know, pushed the Knicks to 6 games. But I just thought Nikhil would average more and be more effective in the postseason. But hey, you can credit that to the Knicks defense as well. And it's not crazy to say he could kind of replicate last season to an extent. Maybe not average 21. Maybe he could average a smooth like 16, 17 points per game. And he could still, light it up from three. Even the last year in Minnesota, it was really good because you could just see that his offense was starting to, pick up. He came into the league as more of a defensive player and he prided himself on that. And so that's why he's number 9 as well because his defense is also really good. At number 8 is where I have Tyler Hero. I feel like people underestimate and underrate Tyler Hero. The fact that he is like one of the best like catch and shoot three pointers you have in the game today, and he still gives you buckets. He still gives you around 20 and a half points per game. The efficiency was a little down last year. He shot 48% from the field and 38% from three. He's more of a 40% 3 point shooter, and he shoots around like 50% from the field. So last year was a down year for him, but he was injured and he was traded for Giannis essentially. He was the best player in that deal. And I think that a year in Milwaukee where, I mean, it's questionable if he's going to stay in Milwaukee because he might be rerouted to a different team. But also, what team is A going to take on that contract, and B has a need for Tyler Hero? Now, the Pistons would be a really great option for Tyler Hero, and that would be a great option for them. And if they could make that happen, I would be super for it. Um, but as of right now, he is on the Milwaukee Bucks, and I think that he can easily average 25 points per game on the Bucks, where the touches are gonna be the ball's gonna be in his hands like a lot of the time. And while he may not have a lot of catch and shoot opportunities because he's gonna have the ball in his hands a lot, he still can knock that bitch down. And I just think that anybody who averages 25 in the league or has the potential to cannot not be in the top 10 on any list. And he was a good playoff. Actually, no, that's cap. He was not good in the playoffs, and he wasn't even on the runs that Miami went to when they were in the finals. He did have that little 2 or 3 game stretch against the Celtics like 2 years ago where he had that triple double in one of those games. He had like 25, 10, and like 15 or something like that. And so we know he can also distribute the rock. He is someone who on the Milwaukee Bucks can put up the stats for sure. And while it may not equate to winning, which is kind of what you look for in a shooting guard on this list, I just think that I can't name, you know, 10 shooting guards better than Tyler Hero going to next year. I just can't. Uh, at number 7, I talked about this regarding Con Knipple, and you know, I don't think there should be 3 spots between VJ Edgecombe and Con Knipple, considering Con had the better rookie year. Um, Now VJ came out the gates like smoking hot, um, and he kind of cooled off towards the middle of the season, and he ended up averaging only like 16 points per game, which is still good for a rookie. It's insanely good for a rookie. He averaged 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 44% from the field, which is not ideal, especially for a shooting guard and a guy who takes a lot of he gets downhill and he takes a lot of like mid ranges and you know puts his head down to the rim and either gets layups or mid ranges and shoots threes occasionally. So 44% is not ideal. 35% from three. I think he had a relatively like decent volume of threes, so 35% is also isn't the greatest. 82% from the free throw line, which is still good, but I could see him be ranging from like more of the 85 to 86% like range as far as free throw percentage. And the reason why he is 3 spots above Concanipple is mainly because of potential. Now, Concanipple will definitely crack, top five in this list, and VJ for sure too. It's just one of those things where you look at VJ Edgecombe and you watch him play basketball and you see him in the playoffs against the Celtics have key moments and huge buckets. And during the regular season, he had like a game winning block, I think. Either he had the game winning block on that play against, I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was against the Bulls. He had a game winning block or something, or a game winning layup. I can't remember which one, but he had a clutch play, and he has had clutch plays in the regular season. And the 76ers, ooh, I do remember that one play or one game winner against the Grizzlies when that game went to overtime. And I think that was the game John Morant, like, had a wide open, like, fast break and, like, you know, tried to taunt whatever, and that's why they lost the game. And in that game, VJ Edgecombe hit a game winning three. And you could see the 76ers with, keep in mind, Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey and Paul George to some extent. And they all trust VJ to take the big shot down the stretch of games. And that just shows you his confidence is at an all time high. And if you just watch, like I said, if you just watch the game of basketball, you watch VJ Edgecombe play, you can just see that he has that like mentality of a player who's trying to bust her ass. He's trying to be the best player on the court at times. And while he did average 16, you could easily, next year that could be up to 20. Now, the only thing hurting this argument is that the fact that they traded for Jalen Brown, and that means the ball is not going to be in VJ's hands nearly as much because now you have Tyrese Maxey, Jalen Brown, and Joel Embiid. And so VJ Edgecombe is literally like the third or fourth option on this team. Well, fourth option on this team. And it kind of sucks for him because if they had kept this roster, and they probably wouldn't have been as good with Jalen Brown as if they had kept Paul George for sure. But you were just imagining what kind of year VJ Eshcombe would have had next year, given the more opportunity, and the Sixers would have a lot more trust in him. And now that's just the trust is still going to be there. Don't get me wrong. But the opportunity is just not going to be there. And it just kind of sucks as a fan, as someone who wants to see him, you know, arguably be like the third best player in this draft, which he was the number three pick, so it makes sense. Um, but yeah, if you're questioning why he's 3 spots above Con Knipple, and maybe I should have had Con Knipple higher or VJ come lower, let me know. That is probably the only like question mark of this list. I think other than that, this is a perfect list. Um, because at number 6, I have Desmond Bain. Desmond Bain was arguably the best player in the Magic last year. He averaged 20 points per game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 48% from the field, 39% from three, and 91% from the free throw line. And Desmond Bain is one of those guys where he is every year you can almost expect him to be around 50, 40, 90. And he takes a lot of threes and makes a lot of threes at a high clip. So that's exactly what the Magic needed, because their offense is shit. Let's just be real. If they did not have Desmond Bain, their offense would literally be like last in the league, and it still is like 20th or something like that. So you add Desmond Bain, and your offense increases by a lot. And yeah, he was the best player in the Magic last year. He was the most consistent player in the Magic last year. He can put the ball in the cup. And as someone who can appreciate someone who is efficient with the ball, takes a lot of shots, but the team needs it, and he's clutch. He's hit so many clutch shots. He has hit, wow, can't speak. He's hit so many clutch shots last year, including um, even in the playoffs, he hit some big shots, and you could rely on him for shot making, and yeah, just the fact that the Magic offense would literally be nowhere without him easily catapults him up. And if you just like a lot of these players, like I could read the stats all day, every day, and some stats can be better than the others. Like for example, Nikhil averaged more points than Desmond Bain, but are we really sitting here thinking that Nikhil Alexander Walker is better than Desmond Bain? Hell no. So a lot of these players, you just have to watch the game of basketball, see like what their stats equate to as far as winning games, winning possessions, and you can kind of, formulate a list of your own and not have to worry about the list being wrong because you actually have the eye test to back up the stats. And Desmond Bain is one of those players where the eye test for sure matters because he could have a game where he's like 3 for 12 from three, but it's like you need all 12 of those attempts, and he might hit like one or two of those shots might be a dagger three at the end of a game. And so you're not going to sit there being like, oh my God, Desmond Bain had a terrible game. He shot 3 for 12. More like Desmond Bain didn't get his shit off for 3 quarters. And, when you needed him the most, he stepped up. That's the type of player Desmond Bain is. Number five is Austin Reeves. We all know the season Austin Reeves had next to Luka. Austin Reeves averaged 23 points per game, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, which is pretty good for a shooting guard. Even though he's like one of those hybrid, like he can play point guard because he averages like 6 assists and he makes teammates around him better. Wow, his shooting splits were 49, 36 from three, and 87% from the free throw line, which is damn near 50, 40, 90. And honestly, when he played without Luka was when he just, went on a tear. I think he averaged like 35 around that when Luka was out. And so when Luka plays next year and they're both healthy together and they play a full season, they're gonna be the best backcourt in the league, no questions about it. Some people will argue LaMelo and Ant. I think that having LaMelo and Ant at two is no slight towards them at all. I just think Luca is just that much better than the Wolves duo by himself. And then you add Austin Reeves, who averaged 23. And without LeBron James next year, he could average 25 to 26, and he could be an All Star next year, and he could be third team All NBA if he really was like that next to Luca. Um, and we all project Luca to miss some time next year. At like he's not gonna play all 82 games, and so in that sample size of when Austin Reeves plays and Luca doesn't, he's damn near gonna average 40, and it's just gonna be one of those where you just can't really not watch Austin Reeves because he is one of those. His skill is just unmatched, and for him to be undrafted too is crazy. Like I was, kid you not, on my YouTube algorithm, there was a YouTube video, and it was like Austin Reeves Oklahoma highlights, and it was just literally him just getting buckets. And a lot of the comments were like, "How did people not see this, or how did teams not see this and not draft him?" And part of it was because he technically wanted to go undrafted so he could be with the Lakers. And so he played in the G League and whatnot. Or did he play? I don't remember if he played in the G League, but I do remember that he said to teams don't draft him because he wants to play in LA. And so all the speculation of the Lakers not re-signing him or him not re-signing with the Lakers should have been dead in the water, just because from the standpoint that he literally turned down being drafted to stay with the Lakers. And he also kind of knew that LeBron was going to be out the door, so the opportunity was going to rise for him. And yeah, I just literally can't name like 6 shooting guards better than Austin Reeves. At number 4, now I also should specify in this list that some of these players are point guards and they're just playing shooting guard, and some are shooting guard that are playing point guard. For example, uh, Austin Reeves, sometimes he plays point guard, sometimes he plays shooting guard. And at number 4, I have Stephon Castle, who is a point guard, but he plays shooting guard on the Spurs, and so I'm going to classify him as a shooting guard as long as De'Aaron Fox is on the team. As long as De'Aaron Fox is on the team, Stephon Castle is going to be on this list specifically, and he is at number 4. He is better than Austin Reeves today, just from the defense alone. And in the playoffs, surprisingly, his 3-point shot started to come around. He still only shot like 33 or 34% from the 3-point line. But this is a guy who, in his rookie year, he was not respected at 3-point line at all. He shot like 29, 30% from three, and teams would just literally like clog up the paint, and that's why one of the main reasons why last year Wemby had to take so many threes. Well, he didn't have to, but like that's the reason why. It's because teams would just literally clog up the paint because they knew Stephon Castle would just put his head down and drive the ball. And he does play with reckless abandon, so that should be noted. Not that this would knock him down any spot on this list, but it could work to his detriment, and sometimes it works into his favor. And he's just one of those guys where the stat sheet doesn't really say all of his impact. And on a team that just went to the finals, and he was the shooting guard on that team, and he was damn good for a lot of it, you just can't have him lower than 4. And the 3 guys ahead of him are just literally just better, like overall, just better. But Stephon Castle has a lot of potential and could crack the top 3 depending on. Actually, it's gonna be really hard for him to crack the top 3 because the top 3 are the top 3 for a reason, and they've literally been the top 3 for the past like 5 or 6 years. Like the order of these 3 has not like has changed in the last 6 years. Like maybe like 2 and 3 has changed, but like as far as someone creeping into the top 3, it just hasn't happened as shooting guard wise in the last like 5 years minimum. But yeah, and I also forgot to throw out my honorable mentions. So before we get into the top 3, I'm gonna throw out my honorable mentions. Norman Powell's an honorable mention. He did play shooting guard last year on the Miami Heat, and he had a really good season. He was an all-star last season. He's one of those guys that just puts the ball in the cup and can score with the best of them, and that shouldn't be overlooked. He averaged 20 points per game last year on like 43% from three, and the 3-point efficiency and volume has been up. Seems like the last 6 years. Like every year, it seems like he's shooting a ton of threes and he's making them at a 40% clip, which for a shooting guard specifically is a really, really valuable skill. Mikal Bridges, honorable mention. Now, last season was rough for him specifically, but if we're counting the playoffs into this, which we definitely should because some of these players didn't make the playoffs, and that's not on them because making the playoffs and being a championship level team is like a team accolade. So, like, it's unfortunate. But he did step up in the playoffs, and an honorable mention is someone who deserves to just be mentioned. Like, he's not going to be in the top 10 anytime soon, and it's not even worth having like a 10-minute conversation about Mikal Bridges. It's just the fact that he should be mentioned in shooting guards. Zach LaVine, still one of the best like scorers as far as shooting guards, pure scorers. I think last year he had a down year. He still averaged like 21 or something like that. He's one of those guys where he still shoots like 38 to 40% from three at a high clip. It's just that like Norman Powell and like Zach LaVine and Tyler Hero I'd throw in there too. And a little bit of Austin Reeves. It's like if they're not playing defense, I mean if they're not sorry, they're not playing defense. So if their offense is not elite or close to elite, then their impact is just like flat out nothing, like they're giving nothing on the floor. Where I think Austin Reeves actually differs because he has the ball handling skills where he can make play other plays and he can make players around him better. So I wouldn't even throw Austin Reeves in there. But like Norman Powell and Zach Levine and Tyler Hero to some extent, like if they're not putting the ball in the cup, they're basically kind of you can't play them on the floor. Shaden Sharp also does, as you mentioned, he did get hurt second half of the season, and his stats and impact dipped a lot, and he started to come off the bench. So, I mean, but first half of the season, like middle of the season before he got injured, like a 3 4 week stretch before he got injured, he was actually really good, and it's the exact play we wanted from Shaden Sharp all like since he got drafted. And it's unfortunate because now he might be thrown into a trade package because I think the Blazers might not be done making moves because I think they're going to be really small next year and they have too many guards. And so Shaden Sharp and Scoot Henderson might just be the odd guys out, um, which, again, unfortunate. Uh, Another honorable mention last year wasn't great at all for this guy, but we knew what he did the previous year and what his potential is on a fully healthy season. Jalen Green, my God, sometimes it looked really bad for him last year, where even in the playoffs, he had like he shot like 30 shots and only made like 10, which Brunson did do that in the finals, but like Brunson is one when it comes to efficiency versus impact. But yeah, Jalen Green had really bad stretches and also really good stretches next to Devin Booker. But yeah, he's out of all these, I think Jalen Green might be the closest to top 10, like potential wise. Okay, I feel like I've been stalling. You guys want this. You want to hear the top three. Number three, I do have Donovan Mitchell. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I am actually no. Why am I apologizing? This is my fucking list. I get to say what I want to say, and people are just gonna have to listen, and maybe they have their opinions, and maybe they're right, maybe I'm wrong, because like I said earlier, these top three can be interchangeable because they're that damn good, and not a lot really separates them. Uh, but Donovan Mitchell is at number three. Now, if we're going based off last season, Donovan Mitchell has an argument for number one. But we're not just doing that. We're just naming the best shooting guards that are in the game and going into next season and right now and based off reputation. And Donovan Mitchell is at number three. He averaged 28 last year, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, which 6 assists seems a little surprising, but also not really because he did play a lot of beginning of the season without Darius Garland, so he had to be more of a facilitator. Um, 48% from the field, 36% from three, and 87% from the free throw line. With the volume amount of threes he takes, 36% is good enough. Um, and you're looking at the 28 points per game, and you're like, how the hell is he number three? Uh for some reason, like the two ahead of him are just like something about them. It's like you like you can see that they're better than Donovan Mitchell. Um, and I'm not quite sure what it is just yet. Like if you if we're into next season, halfway through the season, and Donovan Mitchell is like you know top 10 in MVP or whatever, and these other two like somehow aren't, then I wouldn't be surprised. Like if Donovan Mitchell came in the next season and he's like and they they get LeBron James, but he's like fuck that, I'm still gonna be Donovan Mitchell, and James Harden takes a back seat, which he definitely should because my fucking god, I hated seeing James Harden with the ball like in the playoffs when it deserved to be in Donovan Mitchell's hands. Like that shit pissed me off. Like genuinely, like specifically in that Raptors series when they needed like a bucket and the ball would just be in James Harden's hands. He would shoot a step back brick, step back air ball, or he would shoot it and it may go in, but it's still not a good shot, good possession. And you're just frustrated because you want to see the ball in the best player's hands. And unfortunately, James Harden is not 2018 James Harden anymore. So the ta 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 for 15 seconds in a possession is basically a turnover at this point. Water break, water break. Um, and yeah, like Donovan Mitchell did have a better season than Devin Booker last year. I will admit that for sure. Like 100% he did. But you also have to account for reputation. And Devin Booker, when he was in the finals, he averaged 27 points a game. He was not like you could say the Phoenix Suns in that final series. Yeah, they choked. They lost 4 games in a row, and so Devin Booker definitely deserves some of the blame. Chris Paul deserves some of the blame. Every player on the team deserves blame for losing 4 straight in the finals when you're up 2-0. Um, but if you actually watch those games, Devin Booker was literally like the second best player on the court, like against Giannis, which we're throwing out Giannis, and you would expect, Devin Booker in the entire playoff run actually averaged like 30 something points per game or something like that. No, that was the year after, or no, 2 years after when they lost to the Nuggets in the second round. He averaged 30 points per game in that playoff run, and every win and every win was because of him. Every loss was definitely not because of him, because he was definitely scoring the hell out of the ball. And if you Devin Booker in the playoffs, he's not one of those guys where you look to and he doesn't deliver. Um, Now he obviously doesn't have a championship, so he didn't really deliver anything. But I'm talking about like when he's on the court. Now let's just throw out the series against the Thunder, because everyone has a bad series against the Thunder, and that's just a known fact. Like the past like 2 or 3 years, every star player who goes against Thunder, except for the Spurs who have a 7-5 alien, and that's just different. But like every like guard and forward who goes against the Thunder is gonna have a bad series. And I don't fault Devin Booker at all for averaging 21 points per game against the Thunder in a 4 game sweep. When we all knew it was gonna happen, his team was significantly like worse than the Thunder, and it was just too much to put on his plate. But the years when he had good teams and they made, the second round, the finals, he was like killing. And you could look at those series and those games and be like, they didn't lose because of Devin Booker. They didn't lose because Devin Booker wasn't afraid of the moment because he choked. Whereas Donovan Mitchell, you could say the same thing, but at the same time, he made the conference finals once and he still has 0 wins. Devin Booker went to the finals as the best player on the team. And I think Donovan Mitchell had more talent than the Suns for sure. Um, like the Suns definitely had less talent than the Cavs. Like there was no excuse for the Cavs to not make the conference finals and not win at least one game in the last like 4 years that they had Donovan Mitchell. And so that's why I have Devin Booker number two. Is because he's delivered in the playoffs, in the finals. And I like if you were starting a team tomorrow and you had a choice between Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell, you don't know what the team outlook is gonna be. I think 7 or 8 out of 10 GMs or owners would probably choose Devin Booker. Um, and also Devin Booker is one of those guys where like he's not a like if he doesn't score, he's not good. Like he's like last season he played the point guard position, which I don't really expect him to play the point guard position for the rest of his career. I actually hate it. I hate it when two guards try to play the point guard or when they're forced into that role like Devin Booker is. And I think that, you know, he makes other players around him better. He averaged the same amount of assists as Donovan Mitchell, but the context of those assists are way different. Donovan Mitchell did that because of Darius Garland being injured. Most likely, Devin Booker straight up just averages 6 assists no matter who's on the court. Um, Whether it's with Jalen Green or without Jalen Green, his backcourt mate. And Devin Booker is one of those players where I really want to see another true point guard next to him. It's no coincidence that when he had Chris Paul next to him, they were really good, and Devin Booker was allowed to just play his basketball and not have to worry about being overtaxed on offense. And yeah, that's the argument for Devin Booker being a number two. Now, number one, he's been number one for the past 2 or 3 years now, and it is Anthony Edwards. I don't really have to say too much about Anthony Edwards because y'all know who he is, and if y'all watch ball, you don't really need me to talk about him for like 10 minutes like I just did with Donovan Mitchell and Devin Booker. Last year, Anthony averaged a career high 29 points a game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 49% from 49% from the field, 40% from 3 and 80% from the free throw line. Another one of those shooting guards, high volume of threes, makes them at a high clip, and he's so dynamic that like last 2 years, the amount of times he's been doubled and blitzed, he's like probably the second most blitz player in the league behind Luka as far as like teams wanting to get the ball out of his hands. And the fact that he gets LaMelo now, where Anthony Edwards can play two guard, full on two guard, and not have to handle the ball and do all that crazy shit that he was trying to do last year. He's just that good. I mean, he's so respected around the league. He I just it's crazy because I he's so good and so dynamic, and he gets to the basket and he's athletic and he dunks on people and he has posters, and he has games where he has 10 threes, so he really can do it all. He's a three level scorer, and it's interesting to see what his game is going to look like next year next to LaMelo, because as we all know, every year, every offseason, Anthony Edwards adds something different to his game. Last year, he added the once he gets doubled, he's going to actually make the right decision, and he's going to be better when he gets doubled. And he did that for the most part. The year before that, he said he tried to replicate Dame's shooting form, whatever, and he ended up shooting like 42 or 43% from three, and he was like the league leader in threes. Like I think he beat Malik Beasley by one, who's not in the league by the way. And so every year he's just been adding something different to his game. So I'm interested to see what he adds. Is he gonna add something to his defense? Is he gonna add something to his offense? We don't know. He likes to, keep those things a little hidden until like probably like right until training camp starts, and then he'll say, "Oh, by the way, I did this, and so now next season when you see me do this, it's because I did this in the summer, and the results actually like speak for themselves." And a lot of people call this his superpower, where he takes like different skills from different players, like for example the Dame shooting, whatever, and he replicates it almost to the T, and the results are there to speak for themselves, like I said. And yeah, I really would hope the free throw percentage goes up, because 80% from the free throw line is cool, but like I feel like his the way his jump shot looks, and how he hits a high percentage of his jump shots, I feel like his free throws percentage should be higher than that. It should be around like 85% if we're being real. Because literally every single other shooting guard on this list shoots 85% or better from the free throw line, except for VJ. And Stephon Castle, ugh. Stephon Castle shoots 73% from the free throw line, which is insane because in the finals and even the playoffs, he was literally money. Like there was a game, like game 4 of the NBA finals against the Knicks. He could not get a basket. He was like 2 of 7 from the field, but like he was 8 of 8 from the free throw line. even in clutch situations when they needed free throws from him, he would knock both of them down. And literally every game in the finals, he was at the free throw line, he was making them. I'm pretty sure he shot like 90% from the free throw line during the finals. And so the fact that he's shooting 73% total in the regular season is disgusting. Hopefully he gets that up. He definitely will. There's no way he shoots 73% for the free throw line again, right? Like, that's literally disgusting. Now, he's not a 3-point shooter. He's not like a jump shot, like heavy guy and whatnot, but he does get to the free throw line a lot because he does attack the basket and he does know how to draw fouls. So 73% from him is just absolutely like disgusting. Um, and so yeah, top 10 shooting guards. I'm gonna go with top 10 shooting guards. I'm gonna go in order, number 10 to number one. And this is just, I'm just gonna recap them. I'm not gonna, talk about them again. I'm just gonna tell you where I have each player. For some people who just want to tune into this, or they want to hear my whole spiel about each player, you can tune in before that, whatever. Number 10, Colin Knippel. Number 9, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Number 8, Tyler Hero. Number 7, VJ Edgecombe. Number 6, Desmond Bane. Number 5, Austin Reeves. Number 4, Stephon Castle. Number 3, Donovan Mitchell. Number 2, Devin Booker. And number 1, Anthony Edwards. Now that's my list for shooting guards. And we're gonna get into some fan questions, but I did get to a Liberty game yesterday, and it was really, really fun. I just want to talk about that. So I'm rooting for the Libs because the Liberty. I'm a Liberty fan, but that specific game they played the Lynx, and I wanted to see Olivia Miles, and Olivia Miles is my favorite like player right now, favorite young player, and it's between her and Paige for real. Like they're like neck and neck, but like I think Olivia has the edge as of today. And so to see her in person, that was a must. And it was the option for me and my dad, I guess, too, was Yankees fireworks night or to see Olivia Miles. And my dad had no idea that they were playing today. Like our plan was to just, go see the fireworks and whatnot. Like that's been a thing every year for the past like 4 years now. We've gone to fireworks night. And the Yankees have won 3 out of 4 of those, but even the one that they lost, it was a really close game, and I think Aaron Judge grounded out into a double play that killed the Yankees rally. Um, I remember that game. But yeah, that was a tradition, and so something in my mind. Well, no, I'm always like looking to see like what the Liberty tickets look like because unfortunately they price out their fans like a lot last year at least. It seemed impossible to get to a Liberty game. Um, and I would have liked to see Natasha Cloud play in person on the Liberty, but it is what it is. And so I'm looking at Liberty tickets, and as you all know, I'm in college, so I have plum benefits. My dad also has plum benefits because he works for the union, and my mom does too, or whatever. Because some jobs have it, and some jobs don't. Basically, it's a discount. You can get discount on lots of things like flights, hotels, games, and whatnot. And so I'm checking there because I didn't really think to do that last year. And so I'm like, maybe Liberty tickets are affordable. And I'm looking at the dates and I'm like, okay, July 3rd, that seems very familiar. And I'm like, oh, shoot, that's fireworks night. And that's when they play the Lynx. I'm like, shit, I can't watch Olivia Miles now. Like, that sucks. And as we get closer to the day, which was when I'm recording, I don't know when this podcast episode was going out, what specific day it is, like the number day. Um, but I'm like, damn, I'm gonna have to choose one or the other. And as we get closer, I'm like, okay, the Yankees are playing like shit right now, and why would I want to watch the Yankees lose when I could watch Olivia Miles in person and the Liberty on a momentum. They have momentum from beating the Aces in the Commissioner's Cup. Shout out to them, by the way. And this it's like a no brainer. And so I told my dad, I'm like, okay, how would you feel if we got Liberty tickets for $80, which is probably what we would have paid for the Yankees tickets because we still didn't get the tickets. And the later you buy Yankees tickets, at least for decent seats, the prices go up. And so I'm like, how would you feel about going to a Liberty game and seeing Olivia Miles? Because he also loves, my entire family loves Olivia Miles, by the way. And he's like, you know what, Tyler? We don't have to we don't have to cut the Yankees. We might have to see the Liberty play. And I'm like, yes, I get to see Olivia Miles. That's my girl. And so then my mom, she overhears and she's like, oh, hell yeah. Because my mom is, if not a bigger Olivia Miles fan than me, I don't know who is, but she definitely loves her. And my mom loves the Liberty too. I do too, but like my mom loves the Liberty just as much as I love the Knicks. Like that's how our like fandom goes. And so the tickets were booked, $80, decent seats. Because last time we went to a Liberty game, which was 2 years ago, which ironically they won a championship, and so my thought process was, the last time I went to a Liberty game in person at Barclays Center, they did win a championship. So, and the year I didn't, which was last year, they didn't win. So maybe if we go this year, they win the championship. Now, obviously, that's a crazy superstition, and we'll see come September, October. But yeah, and so we ended up getting decent seats because last time we went, we didn't get decent seats at all. They were like all the way up top, and we could barely see anything. They were like nosebleed seats, and it was nice being in the Barclays Center for that night, and we did get to see Angel Reese break records and whatnot when she was still in the Chicago Sky. But it was just a different feeling being where you really couldn't see any of the players. Like as far as like it looked like you could just watch this game on your TV. Like that's how far away we were. So we had decent seats this time, and it felt different. The vibes were different. The Liberty just came off a really good win, and they were playing the best team in the league, and so it was gonna be a win-win. Either Olivia Miles busts her ass, and we, and that happens, or we win. And unfortunately, Olivia Miles did not have a good game. She had a decent game. It wasn't bad, but it did look like she was forcing a lot. And yeah, we had fun. Barclays Center is one of those, as far as like for the Liberty anyway. Like Liberty games are so much fun just because of their mascot Ellie, who was amazing. She dances, she gets into the crowd, she's all up in the stands interacting with the fans, and her halftime shows and things she does in between timeouts. She is just absolutely amazing. If you have a chance to go to a Liberty game, please do, just for Ellie alone. And yeah, we had really fun. The Liberty basically blew out the Lynx. It wasn't close at all for the majority of the game. And Brianna Stewart, she was on one. Sabrina too. Like even when they were running past like up and down the court, and you could see like on the jumbotron like different plays, and it just looked like Sabrina was locked in. Brianna Stewart was locked in from the jump. She had like 16 points in the first quarter alone. And so that really set the tone for the game. And I think that's their mentality, is that if we can get Sabrina or Brianna Stewart or both engaged and like locked in and like being aggressive at the beginning of the game, then there's really no team that the Liberty like can't beat. Like I was saying this during halftime because Nafisa Collier ended up not playing today because she's still recovering from her ankle surgery, and so she hasn't played a single game this season. And the Lynx are somehow 15-4, 15-5 now. But for for the Lynx to be where they are without Collier, and I was saying this during the game, I was like, the way the Liberty are playing right now, today, this game specifically, I don't think it would matter if Collier played because that's how good the Liberty are playing. And it wasn't just their offense, because they were basically running their offense through three players. Jonquel Jones at points in the game. Sabrina was getting her threes off. And Brianna Stewart, they were really running the offense for getting easy looks around the basket and just getting her the ball in the mid range, high post area. and letting her go to work. Um, and yeah, when those three get going, it's like an avalanche. Like it's like there's really no team that can stop this team when they're playing like that. And so hopefully they can, muster up that like momentum and head into this All-Star break, get a nice comfortable like lead like ahead in the WNBA in standings, and hopefully they can, just be decent and then peak at the right time, get healthy, and yeah, we'll take our chances from there. And it's funny because during the game, also the crowd was chanting for Lainey Hamilton because Lainey Hamilton hasn't played in like 2 or 3 games now, and two or three big games. And I'm not quite sure why she hasn't played if she's not hurt because she's suited up and she clearly is available to play. Like there's no like sick or anything like that or dealing with something. Like she is 100%, and the crowd was chanting for her. And my mom next to me, she goes, "I didn't know Lainey Hamilton was that beloved." And I was like, I mean, yes and no. Like I was surprised too that they were chanting for her to be in the game. Like I didn't know it was that level of like respect for her. But I also do know how important she is to the team, specifically defense. When they won a championship, her defense was really an X factor in the series, along with like Sabrina in that one game, game three, when she just went nuclear in the fourth quarter. But the most consistent part of that series was Jonquel Jones and Benaja Laney Hamilton's defense. And so I think that alone should have her on the court. But I guess Chris DeMarco, I just gotta trust in him. I gotta treat him like Mike Brown, where it's like just give him time, he'll figure it out. He's tinkering with different things right now. There was a point in the season where Mike Brown didn't play, Shamit didn't play, Clarkson, and so I guess it's like the same thing here. You just, when they're needed, their number's gonna be called, and her, Lainey Hamilton, when the playoffs come around and she's in the game in crucial moments, it'll be like times where she's just prepared. So we'll see. But now we're gonna get into some fan questions. So I'm only gonna choose five. I got some good questions, and some of these are I didn't really know how to answer, but we're gonna figure it out together. All right, for number one, someone asked, "What is my favorite movie?" Now, I'm not really a movie person. I can just, tell you right now, I don't go to the movie theaters often. I go to the movie theaters for the movies that deserve my time and my money. And for this year, the movies that deserve my time and money are the new Spider-Man movie, Doomsday, and Dune 3. Those are the three movies that deserve my time this year. So those are movies I will be seeing in the movie theaters. Now I feel like I'm deflecting, but my favorite movie is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Now, I could argue that it was Into the Spider-Verse, but Across the Spider-Verse was just so good that there's no other movie for me that tops it. Like from the animation to the graphics to the storyline. Um, and yeah, I mean, the fact that we saw the Spider Society, they were traveling across dimensions, and different things like the canon event, that was really cool. Seeing the different like the Peter Dad Spider Man, um, the evil Spider Man, um, and Miles Morales is just one of my favorite um like superheroes out of all time. Not only because he's black, of course, he's like someone that I can like connect with on that sort of level, and his suit just looks so cool. Like out of all the Spider-Man suits, his is my favorite by far. Um, And yeah, that's my favorite movie. Number two, someone asked, "Why did I start this podcast?" Now, I was grappling with podcasts for years now. In fact, I started a podcast 2 times previous to this. and I uploaded like maybe 1 or 2 episodes, got burnt out, didn't really have a passion for to keep going, and I didn't really watch basketball enough to have a podcast that would continuously produce new content, and the creativity didn't wasn't there. And so this time around, after watching the Knicks dominate the postseason and actually watching basketball, not just the Knicks, but watching all teams and having a knowledge on all teams, and I still don't have a knowledge on all players 'cause that's just going to be impossible. And even all teams is still a little hard to have knowledge on every single team in the NBA. But to know the important things, to watch games, and to have an understanding of how the game of basketball works is one of the reasons why I started this podcast. And you know, you scroll on Instagram. Let's say you watch basketball on a regular basis, and you scroll through Instagram, and you're reading comments on like posts, like there's like posts about different things that are going on in the NBA, like the Knicks being in the finals, or Wemby, being the player that he is, being a 7'5" alien, and you see all the comments, and you disagree with a lot of the comments, or you agree with a lot of the comments, either or, and you're dying to just get your opinion out there, and you see some comments where people are just posting, or doing things for views, and you get frustrated, and that's exactly what happened to me. And I was so desperate to get my opinions and my knowledge of the game out there that like starting the podcast only felt right. And I got the inspiration from seeing numbers on the board, which you guys should definitely check out. It's a really, really good NBA podcast with four guys: Kenny Beecham, Pierre, D Mills, and Mike. And their podcasts, not only do they do the stories, and they're actually like really good potters, but their knowledge of the game is so, like, it feels like they could be like GMs. Like, that's how much they know about the game. And so when you're taking all that in, and you're wanting to, when you gain so much knowledge, you want to put your own knowledge and your own takes right back out there. And putting Instagram comments out there just wasn't enough for me. So I just felt the need to just talk about it, just put my takes out there and see what happens. And then, the YouTube videos and the YouTube shorts and Instagram reels that just came along with it. And now I'm to invest into the game, making content. And the goal of this podcast is not to, you know, get so many views and clickbait, and throw out useless takes just so they can get attention. Like, I actually want to produce good content. I want to create an audience and a platform for where my takes can actually not just go through one ear and out the other. People actually, like, can say, oh yeah, I remember Tyler saying that on his podcast, and it just so happens to become true. And yeah, that was a long answer, but that's why I started this podcast. Um, Third question is, who is my favorite player in the NBA? Um, this is a really good question, because while I can cop out and say it's Jalen Brunson, and has been for the past 2 years, I feel like I was even one of those people when they signed Jalen Brunson. I knew that the Knicks obviously needed a point guard, and Brunson had just come off a playoff run where he was the second best player on a team, next to Luka Doncic, which is insane. And there were games when Luka didn't play and he just dominated. And so that momentum carrying into next season, I was like, he does deserve to be a starting point guard. And for it to be the Knicks, that would be pretty epic. And it did happen. But I did not know he would be like this. Like, honest to God, there are Knicks fans who believe that they knew that was happening. I trust, I like, believe me, I did not know. I can say that with full confidence. I did not know that Brunson 5 years later would be dropping 45 points in a closeout game in the finals. So yeah, that's the cop out answer. The real answer is Kyrie Irving. Kyrie has been one of my favorite players for a long, long time now. Not just the way he moves on the court, but just his. This is gonna sound like Glaze, but like his aura, like that Cavs shot, bro. Like that really like did it in for me. Even before that, I was really into like Kyrie and him on the Cavs and growing into his own. And Brooklyn Nets Kyrie, that was that was crazy because when he was on the court, he was really good. But there was a lot of times where he just wasn't on the court, and it just sucked for that to be like 3 4 years of his career. But then when he once he got to the Mavs and he reinvented himself, I was like, thank God he can actually play meaningful basketball again. He's actually healthy. He's on the court, and so him and Luca was easily my favorite duo in the league. And I still am upset that they broke up those two. Because if you talk about best backcourt in the league, Kyrie and Luca smoke everybody, and it wouldn't even be close. But yeah, the Brooklyn Nets Kyrie was a time where I live in New York, and so gonna be a Brooklyn Nets fan once they actually start getting good. Which bandwagon, of course, duh. But like this is Kyrie and Kevin Durant we're talking about. And I was also upset that they didn't go to the Knicks. Still upset to this day because they had the chance to do exactly what Brunson did, but they just didn't want to. They copped out, and yeah, his skill level with the basketball is just so profound that it's like hard not to watch him when he plays. And so him and Cooper Flag next year, I'm gonna be tuning into Mavs games for sure. Yeah, Kyrie, my favorite player. Favorite player in the WNBA. See, I just was talking about Olivia Miles, and she is my favorite player to watch in this game as of today. Um, her and I compared her on an Instagram post where she was like her stat lines or whatever, and there was a clip of her like going downhill, whatever, and getting an N1, and she does that constantly, puts pressure on the rim like crazy. I compared her to Luka Doncic, which sounds crazy because comparing anyone to Luka is like a death sentence apparently in today's NBA. But I just compared her in the standpoint of the way she controls the game is second to Luka, and you cannot slow her down. You cannot speed her up. She gets to wherever she wants, whenever she wants, gets whatever shot she wants, can pass like crazy. She has crazy assists. Just the way her presence on the floor is like undeniable is just incredible. And for her to do it as a rookie, easily the rookie of the year, no question about it. And it was a close call between her and Paige because Paige is also like that. Like you just can't speed her up, slow her down, whatever. But just the way Olivia Miles is doing it on a winning team, and the number one team in the league, is just insane. And I'm super excited for her to play alongside Collier because that's just gonna be super duper nasty. Um, and yeah, number five, the final question. If I had to listen to only one artist for the rest of your life, who would you choose? Now, this is a really, really, really good question because I love music. And I feel like there are just so many answers where somebody could be okay with that answer, but I'm going to choose Michael Jackson. I genuinely believe that if I listen to a Michael Jackson song every day for the rest of my life, I would be content. And this guy died 15 years ago, something like that. Like his impact on the music world is just second to none. And it's crazy because he is still breaking records even though he's dead. And like for like this is gonna sound crazy, but like one of my friends, he pissed me off with this take of that he would prefer to listen to Weezer versions of Michael Jackson songs than actual Michael Jackson songs, and I wanted to slap him in the face because anybody who disrespects Michael Jackson deserves to be put in jail, like just straight up. Like you just don't know music at that point. And I kid you not, every day I listen to at least one Michael Jackson song. I put on an album. Every time I go into the car on a long trip, I slide in that Michael Jackson top 10 hits album, and it just never gets old. Um and yeah, it's just there's a lot you can say about Michael Jackson, but also he's one of those where you just don't have to say too much. You just throw his name into a sentence and people immediately understand exactly what wavelength you're on, what time you're on. Like they just know. And so that's it for fan questions. Like I said, if you want your question to be answered in today's podcast, not today's podcast, but you know what I mean. If you want your question answered in a podcast, follow me on Instagram, ty.allen81, or it's underscore Mr. Allen. Now, time for some NBA trivia. I have some trivia games, quizzes, whatnot. NBA. No. I had a Google Doc for this. Um. Yeah, there we go. What was this quiz? NBA top scorers by franchise. Oh God. 300 names? Are you kidding me? Oh shit. This is gonna be tough. I forgot about this quiz. Oh God. I don't even know because is this too hard, bro? And this is also 20 minutes. I feel like I could always save this for another. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it. I feel like that's something I do later on. This is a much more doable quiz for sure. And also because I don't want this episode to be 2 hours long, and if I did all the trivia that I wanted to do, then it would just take way too long. Play quiz. Okay. This quiz is a lot better. So it's can you name the colleges that have produced the most players to the NBA via the NBA draft? Okay. I can do this. This is doable. Okay. First, we're going to enter Duke because why not? Wait, Duke's not number one. Kansas, Kentucky. Oh, yeah, Kentucky does have a lot of players. Baylor. Not Baylor? That's crazy. Oklahoma State? No. Villanova. What's another? Arizona. UCL. Okay, UCLA. What's another college out east? St. John's. Uh, Big East, Big East. Georgetown? No, that's not a big college. Tennessee? I don't know how to spell Tennessee. There we go. Um, what's another college? So there's a college that produced 53 NBA players. What college would that be? Genuinely, what college would that be? Um, think. Texas Tech. What if I just put Tech? No. There's got to be Illinois, probably. There we go. I feel like I'm forgetting East schools. Florida, duh. What? Miami? Okay, there's no way Florida hasn't produced. Okay. Think. Think. San Diego. No. 4 minutes left, 20. Okay. This is a lot harder than I thought it'd be because once you get the good names out there, now it's about deep cuts. Or maybe there are bigger names that I'm just not thinking of. If I go through all the 50 states, Oregon, no. The Ducks, no. Just think of the tournament. BYU, no. Um, UConn. I'm dumb. I'm an idiot. Tournament. Think tournament. Think NCAA tournament. Think NCAA tournament. NCAA tournament. Uh, NCAA. And what's another school? Oh, wait. Michigan. Duh. Duh. UCF. That's no. I don't know how Florida's not on here. Purdue. Purdue. Iowa. No. Idaho. No. Vanderbilt. Sure, there has to be. No way. What about Louisville? Oh, okay. Um, Houston. No, not Houston. Saint Mary's. Bro, I'm gonna be so pissed if I don't get at least half of this. Nebraska. No. What's a Boston? What's a school in Boston? What's a school in New York? New York schools. New York schools. I did St. John's. Creighton. No way, Creighton's not on there. Actually, that makes sense. Damn, why can't I think of Lehigh? But like, only freaking CJ McCollum went to Lehigh though. God damn it. Am I gonna fail another trivia, bro? Come on. There's no way. Come on, I have to at least get 15. A minute left. Don't give up. Don't give up. What's another? Am I forgetting about a team in? Oh, what's the fucking school that Evan Mobley went to? It's not LA. It's not LA, but it's not San Francisco either. It's damn, what's the school that they went to? Shit. Evan Mobley, University of USC. Duh. Okay, we got 15. That's the goal, I guess, somehow. I feel like I'm gonna be super mad when I find out the rest of these, bro. Like I'm genuinely gonna be pissed off. 20 seconds. Like I fear. Wait, did I put Arizona? No, I did. I did put Arizona. I'm dumb. How did I not put Gonzaga? There's no way Gonzaga. No, I refuse to believe that. I literally put Florida State. I should have put Michigan State. I put Maryland, bro. Syracuse. Syracuse was the other school in New York. Duh. Ohio State. I was literally seconds away from putting Georgia. Like y'all saw me inputting Georgia on there. Marquette makes sense. Tyler Kolek, shout out to you. University of Minnesota, University of Washington, University. I don't think I would have gotten University of Cincinnati or Memphis. I definitely should have gotten Michigan State, Syracuse, absolutely. Marquette, maybe. Georgia, pissed that I didn't get that one. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna try to do 82-0 again. 82-0. We got this. Like classic, whatever. Okay. 82-0. Here we go. 5 tries. We got this. If I can do this in 5 tries, I'm goated. Okay. Give me something good. Give me something good. Philadelphia 80s. Do I want Moses Malone or do I want to try to spin and get Wilt Chamberlain? Or should I just take Moses Malone now? Maybe I just take Mo, or should I take Charles? Because Charles is more versatile, you know? Like I can put him at small forward or power forward, and then I have to. I can worry about. You know what? We'll get Charles Barkley. Maybe Moses Malone was the option. I don't know. George Gervin, or should I try and get David Robinson? Should I respin and try to get David Robinson, or should I just go George Gervin right now, who averaged 27 points per game? I'm gonna do George Gervin. This team might win 75 games, low-key. Shaquille O'Neal, easy. And that's why I didn't go Moses Malone. Sacramento. Ooh, Oscar Robertson. Duh. This team is hell of old, but you know what? It might work. It might just work. Philly, Allen Iverson. 74 and 8. Oh my god. This team absolutely would just straight up dominate, and you're telling me, god damn it. Okay. That was my first try. Second try. Here we go. Detroit basketball. I'm going to respin era. Damn, Isaiah Thomas wasn't that good, but I'm still going to take him. Like, he wasn't as good as he was in the 80s when he was going against Jordan, so. Wow, that just fell into my lap. Wilt Chamberlain? Duh. Okay. Atlanta 80s. Dominique Wilkins. I will take Dominique Wilkins. This is a really good start. This might win 74 games again, but. Okay, shooting guard. Do I want to. I think I'm going to respin team and hopefully I get Chicago. Cleveland 80s. Oh, God. I guess I'll have to take Will Be Free. Why not? I need a power forward now. Chicago 20s. God damn it. I have to go Lauri Markkanen, bro. I'm not going DeMar DeRozan at power forward. You gotta be shitting me. 62 and 20 is because Lauri Markkanen tanks this so bad. Uh, okay. Third try is the charm. That's the saying, right? The saying is third time is the charm. We are gonna get George Gervin again. Maybe this team will be better than the last time. This is a better world be free, so I will take that at my shooting guard. Because he did not average enough assists to be a point guard. LA Lakers 10s. I will definitely take LeBron. Easiest choice of my life. Okay, this is a good start. OKC. I will. You know what? I'll take Gary Payton. Center 80s. Moses Malone. See, now I can just keep respinning for this shit. What are some good teams in the 80s? I mean, what are some good centers in the 80s? I can't think of any, so I'm just gonna go Moses Malone. 67 wins. Okay. Fourth try. Fourth try is the one. This is the one. Detroit. 60s. Team. Anybody but Detroit. Ah, shit. I think I have to use another respin here. Because none of these players are gonna. Like, they're all decent, but like. Or should I just take Bob Cousy? Or should I just take Bill Russell at the center? Why not? I don't want to use a respin. Kobe Bryant. Easiest choice. Okay, this is actually really good. This is. See, now I can use a respin because now I can get LeBron. Now we get LeBron. Fuck. Sean Kemp. Great. Great. This team is me lucky to win 70 games, bro. I'll take Kevin Durant. I really wanted LeBron on that Cleveland one, bro. And now I get freaking Archie Clark. Wow. Okay. Oh, I forgot I had Kobe and Bill Russell. That probably carries it to 70 wins. Okay. Fifth try. Fifth try is the charm. This is the last one. Then this podcast episode is over. And I can leave. And I can eat. And I can sleep at night knowing that I got an 82-0 win. Please. Sacramento. I don't want Sacramento. I don't want Sacramento at all. In any universe. Okay. Kyrie or Paul Pierce? Kyrie or Paul Pierce? 2010s, I'm taking Kyrie. At the shooting. I'll put Kyrie at the shooting guard. God forbid I get another shooting guard. I can just put Kyrie at the one. Phoenix 70s. I will be taking the different era. Well, that didn't do me any good. Guess I'll take Gail Goodrich. Don't even know who that is. Cool. Milwaukee 20. Okay, Giannis. 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 Okay. Is this Elvin Hayes? Sure. Give me something good, please. For the love of God. No. Jimmy Butler? Or do I go with Klay Thompson? I think I go with Klay Thompson. Wait. Yeah, I go with Klay Thompson. 68 and 14. Damn it. Well, I did not go 82 and 0. But I'm gonna wrap up the episode here. If you want your questions, remember I've mentioned that a couple times throughout the video, but I will be doing fan questions from now on. So go ahead and get your questions in, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.